Everybody, Barry with Christenson Transportation, where the truckers truck and safety takes priority. And wanted to give a quick shout out to all the drivers for doing a good job in this latest national North American road check, where they focus on certain issues on drivers and equipment and have a 72-hour period where they're stopping everybody. And I just wanted to give you some statistics of what they found, how many they stopped, how many tickets they wrote, and how Christenson did in this. And so between everybody, Canada, Mexico, United States, in that 72-hour period, they did 48,761 inspections. That's a lot. Out of that, 13,567 vehicle out of services, 2,714 driver out of services. They placed 9,345 commercial vehicles, accommodations, and 2,290 drivers out of service. So not a very good rate on the overall. That comes out to about 23% out of service on the stops. So, 1 out of 4 trucks they pulled in, they put out of service, whether it's the truck or the driver. The driver out of service was a lot better. It was at 4.8%, 19% for vehicles the previous year. So, gone up a little bit, but we did very well. The number 5 categories that they found the most violations on vehicles. Of course, the focus was on brakes, and we told you that. So 3,093, 26% of those were put out of service for brakes. And brakes, I give people a little leeway in that because it's hard to get under those hubs, but especially on disc brakes and really tell. We leave that up to our maintenance personnel and our preventive maintenance routines to take care of that most of the time. The next highest category is the one that's preventable, and that's tires. 22% of the violations were tires. And tires, you all know that it's always been my pet peeve because, on drive tires you can get 400,000 miles, and steer tires you can get 150,000 miles if you're maintaining your air properly. And they don't go bad overnight. So when people pull into a scale and they've got bad tires, it didn't happen after they did a proper pre-check that morning. It's been going that way since you put the tire on, and you've had plenty of time to get that fixed and taken care of. So really don't have a lot of love for those violations. 12% was lights, and then cargo securement was another 9%. In the driver category for being put out of service, hours of service was 32.3%. I just don't understand that. And I guess I don't need to because we didn't have anything. We don't have that issue anymore. With electronic logs, it's counting down your day. It's telling what you got. It doesn't happen immediately that you're out of hours when you had 6 hours 10 minutes ago. It's counting it down, and then it's notifying you. So good job, Christenson drivers. We didn't get any part of that. Here's an unbelievable category, and it's probably a big problem in the country. Creates a lot of our issues. Is 26% of these drivers didn't have a CDL. That just blows my mind. I mean, how are these people? I understand we did a 72-hour road trip, but how are they getting by on a daily basis, crossing scales, getting inspected, and don't even have a CDL? And who's putting these people on the road? I mean, good Lord, we've got all kinds of laws and regulations and qualifications and systems that keep up with driver's license and physicals. And to put somebody behind the wheel without a CDL is just rolling the biggest dice game you're ever going to roll. So don't like that category. Medical cards was another 12%. You typically have a year or 2 years on the med card, and I know our system gives us a 60-day, a 45-day, a 30-day notice on expiration. So Don't push that to the limit. Don't get hung out. Don't show up at home the day before your card expires and they say, hey, your blood pressure's high. You're gonna have to wait a week. You just cost yourself a couple $1,000 in revenue from not being able to work, to save it $80 from getting a physical 2 weeks before it's due and giving your body time to get ready for it. So shame on that. But the best news is out of all those 43,000 stops, we had one tire issue, flat tire. The tire was still good, just off the rim. So, those things do happen. I would prefer you to pull over with our drive-wise mile or two before the scales, do a quick check, make sure everything's good. Don't pull up with a tire flat. You can see it from a mile away. And they've got equipment that looks out there and not only weighs your truck, but it looks at your wheel bearings and your axles and says, hey, this one's hot. Let's go check the brakes or let's check the tire, and they pull you in and find those violations. So they're not doing it all by their eyeballs. They're using technology. So help yourself out. Take care of that business. But another shout out to everybody at Christenson for doing an outstanding job. Just reaffirms that we're going in the right direction in safety and maintenance. So thanks for doing what you do, and thanks for being at Christenson, where the truckers truck.